What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to share with you a complete guide to help prepare you for the upcoming Halloween event in New World. Now, keep in mind, all of this information is 100% included within the PTR, so some things may change here and there, but overall, everything that I share in this video should be pretty close to what's going to happen on the day of the actual release of this event. So let's go ahead, jump in, and get started with the event. Well, the very first thing you're going to want to do to get started with this event is go to any town and find this NPC called Salvatore. When you talk to him, you are going to see a range of different, options to kind of learn a little bit more about the event. But just for time's sakes, we're going to jump into this first section here that calls out Eternum has a few monsters. So we jump into here, we learn a little bit about how these monsters have gained a recent curse. How can you stop this crazy demon because the demon's causing this curse? And then you will get a quest to essentially take down the world boss. So now that we have this quest in our journal, we can take a look at either global chat because people will likely call it out just to try to get some more people there to help take down the world boss. Or you can jump straight to your map and scroll around a little bit until you find an icon similar to this right here. And this calls out Belfazu's Rising. So right here is where the world boss is going to be. So if we jump over there and take a closer look, we'll be able to actually see what this world boss looks like, take him down, and complete this quest. So we are following the icon on the map here. In this situation, we're in Weaver's Fen, and we can see that there's a huge dark cloud in the sky. So we must be getting pretty close. My group member's over there now too. Let's see how it looks when we actually get a little closer. Now, the first thing I recommend is, not looking good. Grab a tent because this is going to be a very lengthy battle. As you can see, there's tons of little pumpkin monsters around, and in the center there's a larger monster, which is the open world boss. I'll probably wait here a little bit longer and try to gather a few more people, and then we'll go ahead and jump in to actually experience the fight. Okay, we are jumping right in and starting this fight. We've got about 10-15 of us, and as you can see, this world boss has a ton of health. What's pretty cool is that these smaller little pumpkin heads spawn throughout the entire fight, and when you kill them, their heads come off. And you have a pumpkin head, which you can then pick up and throw at the world boss. And it actually deals a pretty good amount of damage. Right there, dealt 4,000. Pick up this one, throw it. 4,500 again. I mean, I've seen that these heads deal between 4,500 and 6,500 damage. And it definitely helps considering, a light attack up that close won't deal as much as a pumpkin head would. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and show you this entire fight. I just wanted to give you a sneak peek. I'll go ahead and cut forward now towards the end of the fight so you can actually see the animation for when the world boss dies and then what you actually get for taking them down. As you can see, we're getting pretty close from taking this guy down. We definitely have a good amount of people here and it's still taking us time. I think we have been doing this for about 12 minutes now. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we finally take him down. There he goes. Quest completed. We got the item. He does a really cool animation there. Just blows up. Cool. So we have the quest item. Let's go ahead and jump back to that NPC and see what we get. Now that we're back in town, we have to drop the item that we got from taking down that world boss into one of these cauldrons. So let's go ahead and throw it in and see what we get. Cool. So we get a cash and then one Nightfill token. If I jump into my inventory, I will go ahead and open this cache. It looks like we get 7 more tokens, some coins, and then a random Halloween event pattern. And this one's for the sword. So I've heard those look pretty cool, so I'm excited to craft those as well. When I go to complete this quest, we get another Nightfill Hollow Cache. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this. And there we go. Let's go ahead and jump into the Nightfill Shop as well to see what we can use our tokens for. Um, as we can guess, it looks like we've got different patterns for every single weapon. These must look pretty cool. I'll go ahead and pick up a Great Sword one and a Great Axe one. But if we scroll down, ooh, we get to see some really cool skins. Looks like a nice helmet skin. Finally, a jack-o'-lantern skin. A few other options here. All look really cool here. A new emote, a new armor skin. That looks really cool as well. Looks like you get a little pumpkin guy to choose as a furniture item. But then there's also 600 gear score scrolls that you can pick up, which also look very, very interesting. So I'm excited to get some crafting done with these as well. So now that we actually have some of these event patterns, let's take a closer look at them and see what we can do with them. So right off the bat, we can see the Greatsword honestly looks really, really cool. We can see that the material requirements are actually the same. 15 Asmil, that's just like crafting a normal Great Axe. But what's interesting is that it automatically locks in that first perk for Keen. And that's the same situation regardless of what scroll you're using. So if you're using a green scroll, it still locks in that Keen. So regardless of the situation, you are going to get Keen on your weapon that you roll with these scrolls. Now, the interesting part too, on top of all of this, is when we take a closer look at the actual perk pools for these different recipes. So, for example, we're looking at the Great Axe here. We scroll down, and we can actually see that Refreshing Move has a really good chance of being rolled here at almost 4%. Usually that's like 2% or less. So that's pretty interesting. If we keep scrolling down, we can see there's Rogue, a few other different abilities here, kind of scattered all over the place. Nice to see that Sturdy and Sure Footing are pretty low. But the other interesting thing is that Thwarting Strikes is not on this list anywhere. So what does that mean to you? Well, if you want to roll a best in slot Great Axe, what you're going to want to do is not roll a 600 scroll because you cannot add any additional perks, but take a green scroll, get all of your materials ready to go, and drop in that Thwarting Strike crafting mod. So that will guarantee Thwarting Strikes and Keen. So that's a 2-perker. And then you can basically pray that you hit that third perk at 600 to be Refreshing Move. Now keep in mind, these Great Axes go upwards of 700k to like 1.2 million gold in the game currently. So I feel like the overall prices for those type of Great Axes will greatly decline. If you have one, I recommend you sell it now. And if you don't have one, I don't recommend you buy one and wait until this event and actually roll your own through these green event patterns. But let's go ahead and just roll this 600 scroll, see what we get. Shirking Arcane, Vicious, and Keen. Not too shabby, honestly, and it looks really cool. Let's equip it. Yeah, look at that. Super cool. And honestly, that really sums it up. So keep your eyes on the lookout for those open world bosses once it's actually live instead of just the PTR. Take them down as much as possible, pick up those different caches, those boxes, and gather as many of those tokens as you can because I have a feeling these event items are going to be pretty pricey, especially after this event. So go ahead and get prepared, get your items ready to go, and get ready to grind out some of these open world bosses. Thanks again for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks again.